Hello, everybody. I don't know what that was. Why do I always do that? I always do something and then question it. Anyways, um, can we talk about Crisis Part 2? I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm just going to do it anyways because I did Part 1. Go watch that. If you haven't seen Part 1, like in general, like the actual show, go watch that. Then watch the review I did. Then watch Part 2. Then watch this. Or do whatever you want because, it's your life. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to talk about Crisis. And Crisis Part 2 kicks off on Batwoman. And, I don't know, guys. I've been trying to think of how to start this one because I'm pretty sad that Oliver is no longer with us. So, at the ending of Part 1, he saves 1 billion people to get everybody off of Earth 38 out. But doing so, he's won against, an army of goosely ghouls, and he don't make it, folks. And so the episode kind of starts with, Sarah, Supergirl, and Batwoman all pouring a drink for Oliver and trying to take a last few words. And they're kind of going, that's great. He saved 1 billion people. We can't deny that sacrifice. But at the same time, this is all, this was our hero. And there's a little confusion there because they still have Crisis. It's not like they saved anything. Earth 38 got destroyed. Earths are still being destroyed. Now their only hope, or they thought was their only hope, the person that sacrificed it all to save everybody, is gone. And so that kind of leaves them with no plan. It's pretty interesting. So they kind of, have their last kind of farewells. Barry is really taking this one hard. He doesn't think that Oliver should have died, and he is kind of taking it really badly. And he kind of gets zeroed in on that focus of Oliver passing. And so we really don't see him for the first part of the episode. Him, Mia. They're just dealing with it in their own way. But what's interesting is, so they need a wave rider. They need one of the time ships to help them. They need the equipment in Ray's laboratory. And so they decide, or Harbinger, or Lila, whatever one you prefer, goes and needs to get the Wave Rider. Well, you're honestly thinking, and I'm honestly thinking, where are you going to get the Wave Rider from? Legends. You got Sarah there, you've got Ray Palmer there. Let's go bring the rest of the team in. And I guess, I don't know, they decide not to go get the team because they Sarah makes this quip I told the team we'd never do another crossover event, and you're kind of like, yeah, but this is Crisis. Everybody's gonna go bye-bye. Don't you need everybody? Wouldn't the team understand? This is the end all of be-alls. But on the flip side of that, because they kind of work that in, they get to go get a Wave Rider from a different Earth, which is really cool because we get to see Leonard Snart come back. Not him. He's the voice of the ship, of the Wave Rider, of the Earth that the Harbinger goes. Or the Harbinger goes to a different Earth to get the Wave Rider. When she enters into the ship, there's only 2 people on there. Not even 2, there's 1 person. But the artificial intelligence, or who's running the ship, is a Leonard Snart. And of course that would make the actual person in the ship Mick Rory, which awesome. He's so funny. He's such a good addition to the team, and he's got such a great atmosphere and personality on screen, but a lightness to him too that kind of breaks up the more serious aspects. In fact, they're having this conversation of what Lila's like, or Harbinger is like, what are you even doing on? Like, what are you doing here? Like, I thought everybody had retired from this earth for these legends. And he's like, yeah, we all did. Well, one of us even kicked the can. I'm just here, like, writing my novel and just trying to, live out my days. And Leonard's like, well, you're not having any success at being a writer. You're basically living out of your car, because he's living in the Wave Rider, and they have this like back and forth kind of little banter. But they, of course, Harbinger's like, it's crisis. You got to come help us. There's plenty of beer and stories for your book and da da da. And Mick, as always, is just like, you had me a beer. Like, I don't need anything else. Just show me where the beer is. So we get a Wave Rider, and we get Mick, and we get Leonard as kind of the voiceover there for the ship. So everybody kind of regroups on the ship. Superman, Lois, their baby, John, Batwoman, Barry is there, Supergirl, Ray Palmer, Mick. They're all kind of there because now they kind of need the Harbinger, the Monitor. The Monitor is now going to tell them what's kind of next or what we're going to do. And he starts off with, we've lost a great hero. And Barry's like, the wrong hero. And he's like, I couldn't agree more. Like, I first saw Oliver saving us, and now with him gone, we have to basically go to, I don't even know what plan this is. Like, Plan 99? I think they're just skipping all the, I don't like this. I mean, it's a really cool idea, and I really like it, and I'm not harshing on it at all. It just kind of comes out of left field. Which is why I'm just saying they're skipping the Plan 99. Because the Monitor is basically describing, well, I had Oliver, he gone. So now plan number 2, or Plan 99, is there's these Paragons, these people of pure, everything that's good and pure and hope, courage, love. Or let's see, there's we get introduced to 4, and that's hope, courage, truth, and wasn't love, it was what was it, destiny. We get those 4, so there's 7 Paragons, and I think automatically a lot of us are kind of going, well, wasn't there 7 members of the Justice League, like the original team? So this is kind of hinting at that, I think. Like, they're trying to use like the 7 Paragons as the Justice League. Basically, we need to form this these team of superheroes that embody these 7 ideals that they can really turn the tide and be the line against the anti-Monitor. And it's funny because while he's trying to break all this down, and you're kind of going, what is this? Why have we not heard of this at all? Even Barry's like, why are there all of a sudden Paragons, and why wouldn't we told this before? And he gives this mumbo jumbo. Oh, I read it I got it from the Book of Destiny. Oh, by the way, the Book of Destiny is back. He went back in time and grabbed that sucker. And then he consulted with Felicity Smoke, who apparently read another book, and they kind of have pieced together that there's 7 Paragons. They'll be the ones to stop or defeat the Monitor in some way, shape, or form, and kind of go from there. And they're all kind of like, what the? And it's funny because while the Monitor's trying to break this down and everyone's trying to like listen to what he's saying, everybody, of course, remembers the baby John, Superman and Lois's baby, who they just went and got back, is like crying throughout this whole speech. It's like, we've seen it time and time again when someone's trying to break down like an important like message, like there's some sort of noise or something that keeps cutting them off. And in this case, it's John just going, just crying. Ah, that was a horrible cry. That was like a laugh snicker. Ah, that's not how a baby sounds. But the baby just kind of just keeps crying. Ah. First, like Lois is holding the baby, and then the baby gets like kind of passed down the line of heroes, and the baby just won't stop crying. Ah. And they break down all this Paragon stuff. And finally, Mick Rory grabs John, and instantly the baby's like, yep, perfect. I'm safe. I'm good. Everyone's like, this is weird, but go, get out of here so we can listen to whatever the heck this is. That was a pretty funny moment there. And, like, the only person that kind of quieted the baby is Mick, and that comes into play a little bit later, and I'll talk about because it's just a hilarious kind of additional moment. Again, he just provides some good... It's not just the humor, because if it was just humor, it'd kind of be misplaced. You know what I mean? Like, but he provides a good foundation / skew to the whole kind of thing. And so we kind of pan back to the monitor, who's kind of going like, look, I've got 4 out of the 7. I know 4 of them, or I have 4 clues. Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, you are the Paragon of Hope. All that you've endured, you're the one of hope. And she's going, wow, I've got like 0 of that. My Earth is gone. My mom is gone. I really have I'm at like 0 here, but okay. Then they also say that Sarah Lance, since she's the captain of the Wave Rider of Time and whatever, she's the Paragon of Destiny. She's not in the room to hear this, but she'll find that out a little bit later. So that's 2. So they've named 2 out of the 7 we know. Supergirl and Sarah, they're both Paragons. Then he goes, I have hints for the other 2. One is a Kryptonian who's endured a pain greater than any human or worse than any humans ever endured. And the other one is a future bat. And so they have these clues, and they've got to kind of go find these next 2 Paragons. And so the team's going to kind of split up. We're going to have Batwoman and Supergirl. Batwoman and Supergirl are going to go and find Future Bat on Earth 99, which is a future version of Batman. They also break out that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and Ray Palmer is like, whoa, Bruce Wayne is who? And everyone, and it's kind of just like, yeah, don't say anything about that. We're gonna keep that one to ourselves. Monitor next time, secret identities. Come on now. Bruce Wayne who? Anyways, so they're gonna go get Batman. That's cool. So they're gonna go get Batman. And Superman, Lois, and Iris West are going to go get Superman, are going to go find Superman. And Iris and Barry kind of get to meet a little bit and chat, and it's nice because they know that they still think that Barry's going to disappear. He's still destined to disappear at Crisis. We know that Oliver said that he kind of saved Kara and Barry from having to sacrifice themselves, but because everything's kind of changed, I'm still thinking that Barry might have to sacrifice himself or disappear in Crisis. Something still has to happen with that. But, Iris gets to kind of join the fray and get sent on the mission to go find Superman. And it's kind of this nice little moment of Iris and Barry like going, do you really think, this would be our lives? And they're kind of just like, any life, with you is one I want to lead. And it's just a good reminder of that kind of relationship that Barry and Iris have, and their foundation really sets them apart from some of the other kind of couples and relationships. They're really a rock not only to themselves but to what they need to do outside of that foundation. I got really serious there. I apologize. I just love Barry and Iris. The Flash is, grade A. Anyways, we're getting back into it. I'm sorry. Where is Barry? Barry is actually, and this is kind of where we get to see what Barry's doing in all of this Paragon hunting. He tells Iris, hey, so before Oliver passed, or one time we chatted, I guess, he told me about the Lazarus pits and how he brought his sister and Sarah back to life, and we're gonna go do that. And you're like, ugh. No, well, at least Oliver gets. I mean, if you think about it, like all you have to do is, because we know the steps. It's not just the Lazarus pit. You got to bring the soul back. So if you can do those two things, you can get Oliver back. And Barry really needs Oliver back. Mia needs Oliver back. So Mia and Barry decide, we're going to go find this Lazarus pit. And I mean, they know all the ones on this earth has been destroyed, but they still have a few remaining earths left. So they're going to go and try and revive Oliver Queen and, bring him back to help save Crisis. I hope it works. I don't know. That's, because who knows? I mean, it could work. It's a good idea. I don't, it's weird because, so we as I mentioned earlier, they say that they brought back the Book of Destiny. The Monitor brings back the Book of Destiny. And he, of course, has a purpose for that. He is going to use it to get them to find Superman. And what he's really doing there is he brought back Lex Luthor, from Earth 38. Earth 38's Lex Luthor, the one that died by Lena, his sister, in Supergirl, for all of you who don't know. But he got brought back by the Monitor, and basically to send Luthor on a path to kill all Supermen, basically making the three kind of speed up to find the Paragon of Truth, or the Superman they need to find before Lex kills them all. And it's this weird moment that I'll get into in just a moment, which is why, I want to go back to all the times I keep saying that the Monitor's evil. I'm having a different perspective, and I want to run it by the class here in a moment. But they kind of mention, oh, hey, if we have the book, we can bring back our 38, we can bring back Oliver Queen. And he's like, it doesn't really work that way. If you try to bring back a whole Earth, it'll drive you crazy. I mean, we kind of saw what happened to Deegan in the Elseworlds crossover when he used the book too much to try and do too big of a scale. It drove him crazy. And we kind of get that nailed into us throughout the episode that using the book on that kind of scale will drive you crazy. And so they're kind of left with no other options, going back to Barry and Mia and Oliver, but to use the Lazarus Pit. So let me finish that train of thought, and I'll go back to the Monitor because those are kind of the end, the cliff notes, the big stuff. So Barry and Mia and Sarah, of course, go and consult the only person that has ever been able to, assist them with this kind of stuff, bringing back souls and adequately, utilizing the Lazarus Pit, is our boy, our man, John Constantine. He's back. John, and he's awesome. And him and Barry Allen have this weird banter back and forth that I really like. I really liked, those characters on screen together because, John Constantine just kind of being his kind of playboy attitude. He's lighting 2 cigarettes. And Barry's just kind of like, do you mind about the smoke break? Can we get along to the spell that finds the Lazarus Pit to bring back, Oliver and save everything? Come on. And John's like, come on, Speedy, simmer down, man. This is the spell. Come on, cool your jets. And he does the spell, and he throws his hand over, and he's like, it's all in the wrist, man. And this kind of map shows up, and he does a spell to find the one Earth that has a working Lazarus Pit. And they go there, and it winds up being in in the United States, it's in North Dakota. It's a well that they find, and they meet Jonah Hex there, or a version of Jonah Hex, and they get to give him the little scar on his face, whatever. But they get into the Lazarus Pit, and they throw Oliver in, and of course he comes out, but he's all monster, and they trank him. And so, because that's only the first part. Bringing them back is the easy. Bringing back the body is the easy part. You just dip them in the water, bippity boppity la bacon. You've got, a soulless, brainless, mindless monster at your toes. You can even see he's not Oliver. He just jumps out and he's in full attack mode, just wanting to kill basically anything in sight, which is what we've seen from anybody who's ever entered that pit of awesome. Keeps you young. Keeps you. I mean, as long as you don't die, but it does warp the brain a little bit, clearly, especially if you're dead. So there's that going. So there's that kind of portion. We'll kind of tie in what's happening there more towards the end. But basically, Oliver is back halfway. They still need to bring back his soul, or do that thing. But that kind of is where that gets left off. Now, let's go find these Paragons. Let's do, we'll do them one at a time. We'll focus on Superman first, and then we'll get into Batman in a little bit. So let's see, Superman, Iris West, and Lois, they portal off to go find Superman. And it's on the first Earth that they're trying to find Superman that they realize that Lex Luthor is also after Superman. Now, let's go back to that a little bit. How is Lex Luthor jumping around trying to find these Superman? Well, what did the Monitor stupidly bring back? Lex, for one, and the Book of Destiny. And what is Lex? He's a genius. So, clearly, puts two and two together. He goes and gets the book, duh, and a portal, and an Earth jumper, an Earth. I'm gonna call him a breach device. I know they call him something else, but I'm gonna call him a breach device because that's what they talk about in the Flash. So he basically goes and grabs the book and the breach device and teleports to go kill all the Superman. And it's weird because the Monitor allows him to do that. Basically, we hear the Harbinger. I don't know, we hear the Harbinger has all these weird whisper voices going on in her head, and she's kind of going crazy and what's happening, what's all this noise, and she starts fumbling trying to find where these whispers and noises are coming from, and she enters into the room seeing Lex with the book and a jumper, and she's like, whoa, what? You're not supposed to have that. Give it back. And he's like, not before I kill all the Supermen. Bye, peace, and he disappears. And Harbinger turns to the Monitor and goes, excuse me, if he kills the Superman, the Paragon, we're all doomed. Why would you do that? And he smiles and goes, everybody has a part to play. And you're like, what? Huh? What do you mean everybody has it? He keeps doing these things that aren't necessarily good, but I do see the intention, because if you put him on the case of killing Superman, it only puts the pressure on them to kind of find the Superman that they need quicker, before Lex can, which makes sense, but there's also this risk that Lex kills the Superman they need and game over. I mean, he went from having the plan with Oliver to going to this plan 99 with Paragons, and he's risking one of the Paragons. They don't even know who all 7 of them are, or they're not replaceable. It's not like if the Paragon of whatever of truth of Superman, if he dies, it's not like somebody else can become the Paragon. So why is he I don't know. Is it because he's only trying to make them more prepared for Crisis and the Anti-Monitor, and trying to continually challenge them in all sorts of ways to better prepare them for, continuing to prepare them for this crisis, because this is the end-all be-all. It makes you wonder. His moves kind of second guess, but there's also purpose behind them. I do understand. He's not here to play nice or be a hero. He's here to do whatever he can to make these heroes understand what's at stake and be prepared for anything, because crisis could bring anything. So I don't know. Now that I'm kind of talking it through here, I do kind of see both sides, but I feel like the weaker the Monitor gets, the more susceptible to just kind of, I don't know why I keep, turning and doing this. He just keeps kind of, like making rash decisions maybe, or just, he's getting more desperate, you could say. So there's kind of that going on. I also, like, what's up with the whispers, with the Harbinger? Like, why is it the Book of Destiny calling to her? Is it somebody calling? Like, what were those noises? And it did tie into the book, but what was it? The book? Was it the Monitor? Who was it? So those kind of questions arose in that sequence. All right, let's get back to, so now we kind of have that full scope of everything going on and the kind of bits and pieces. Let's kind of go find the Paragons and meet a few more cameo characters who are just they did good at bringing everybody into this show. Anybody who's ever been a superhero in the DC universe, TV, animated movies, you wanted to be in crisis, God, bully, you're in crisis. So let's meet up with Superman, Lois, and Iris, who they now know that, Lex is killing off Superman. In fact, the first world they go to, he's beaten them to that Superman. Superman's already dead when they basically show up. So then they go to another Earth, and guys, Earth 167, Smallville. I said it, Smallville. I'll say it again, Smallville, the original TV superhero show. I mean, of course there were ones before that, but like for me, like when I was a kid, like that was the first live action superhero show that I really found, I guess I would say. I knew that they've done others in the past and things like that, but like one that had been created in my lifetime, as far as I was aware, I believe Smallville was one, if not the first one of my time, the first one, the first major one. I mean, it had 10 seasons. It was a phenomenal show. Anyways, I'm getting way off track here. We get to see Smallville back in action. He is Clark Kent, the original. He's in it. It's awesome. And I'll get to it really quickly. The three show up. Superman, Iris, Lois. They're like, hey, Lex, we're going to kill you. And he's like, Lex, I didn't know the president was in town. Because, of course, he doesn't know about the multiverse or anything like that. He's like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are crazy. And they're like, and then they disappear. And you're like, what? Where did they go? And of course, Smallville then turns around and sees Lex from Earth 38 holding the Book of Destiny and going, hey man, hey buddy, what's up? What's going on? I was your arch nemesis, Lex. Hey yo, boo. And Smallville, I'm going to call him Smallville. Smallville is like, who, what? All right, cool. You're Lex. You're here to kill me, I guess. Multiverse, awesome. He's just kind of like, whatever, man. I'm just a farmer. Like, you're just bothering me on my day here. And he's like, Alexa, you're my nemesis on any Earth, and I'm here to kill you because if these super friends wound up saving the multiverse, there'll be no Supermen to stop me from doing whatever I want. So you're gonna die. And he pulls out kryptonite. And he goes, ha-ha, kryptonite, gotcha. And Smallville's like, oh, at first he's like, oh, it's I got that. Let me get some of this. And he's like holding it, and he's like, oh, cool. He just throws it. Lex is like, hey, wait a minute. That's I don't know if you know this. That's kryptonite. Like he was like, hey, wait a minute. Why aren't you like, that's kryptonite? And Smallville's like, yeah, it is. Yeah. But it don't work on me no more. And he's like, why? And then he like kind of takes a step forward, smashes a toy, realizes that this Superman has kids. And Clark goes, I gave up my powers. I gave it up to be a father, to be, there's more important things in life than having powers. And Lex is like, what? You could fly, you could see through walls, heat vision, super strength, super speed. He like starts telling him what his superpowers are and going, you gave that all up for some kids? Like, are you kidding me? And he's like, and Smallville's like, there's more important things in life. Also, if you really think about it, the guy defeated everybody there was to defeat in the 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, it was a cool, I think it was a perfect idea for him to not have powers. Because, like, if you really think about it, who's left on that planet to really oppose him? I mean, over the 10 years, we saw everything. We saw him, he defeated darkness itself at the end of that show. So it was really cool to see him back, but just as Clark Kent. And it was funny because he still destroyed Lex, because Lex was like, all right, fine, you're human. I'm just punching right in the face. Like, all right, we'll just do this old school. And Clark, like, grabs his hand and bop! Just right hook right to the face. Like, and he goes, still stronger. What you talking about? And Lex is like, all right, well, this is awkward. You're going to die anyways because of Crisis, so I'm just going to leave you to your sad life. You ruined it for me. And I was like, yes, because, we're seeing a lot of this superhero stuff, but for just plain old Clark Kent to like shut him down like that, I mean, he's on a mission to kill every Superman on every Earth. And he's just kind of like, and after one occurrence with Smallville, he's kind of just like, wow, you really killed that for me. Like, I had all this energy and this ambition. I was finally going to do it. Like, I already killed one. Who knows if he had killed others in between the one we saw and, getting the Smallville. But anyways, he's like, you took all the fun out of it, man. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And Smallville's like, all right, bye. And then his Lois comes in and he's like, hey, look, multiverse is ending. We're all going to die. And Lois is like, what? Haha, you told a joke. That was like your first joke in a decade. Good job. Good job, Smallville. Let's get out of here. You got kids to take care of. They left a mess for you. And that kind of ends. And so that was cool. It was cool to see him back. And so then we get to Superman number 3, or the third Superman that we see, and it's, lo and behold, Ray Palmer. No, it's not Ray Palmer, but it is that actor, Brandon Routh. I apologize if I messed that up, but if we all remember, back in the early 2000s, he played Superman in 2, pretty big movies, Superman and Superman Returns, and he's back on screen, and that was super cool to see him back. He's all jacked up, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, Ray, where'd you get so buff?" And he's like, "I'm not Ray, I'm Clark. Come on, like it's me, man. Who else? Who's Ray? Come on, not Ray as Star Wars Ray. I know, I shouldn't have said that, but I thought it in my head, and I thought, someone's gonna be like, "Hey, Ray." Nobody thought that. Okay. So they meet that Superman, and they find out that he is the Paragon of Truth. They go into his office, and there's all these plaques on the wall of Lois and all these people that he's loved and worked with and cared about. And it appears that on this Earth, they don't refer to him as the Joker, but it is hinted at that it is the Joker. Superman kind of tells the story of, well, our newspaper wasn't giving this kind of guy in Gotham enough, press, and so he came and gassed the building. And the way he kind of said it, you kind of go, all right, so the Joker killed everybody in the building. And so the Joker basically gassed the whole building. I'm going to say it was the Joker. You can tell me if you think it was somebody different. But gassed the building. Majority of everybody that this Clark Kent has known his whole life now gone. And they're like, oh, hey, that's a tragedy more than any mortal man's ever faced. This is it. This is our guy. And now, we're on the same page. We need you to save the multiverse. And, of course, Superman's, been through kind of stuff like this before, right? In this one, or at least this version, he's kind of like, yeah, I'm on board. Let's do it. I'm there. And then, of course, Lex has to come in with his book and, mess with some stuff. And he's like, hey, I'm here to not kill you, but I'm going to now make you kill those guys because Smallville really messed me up on killing Superman. So now I got to be different because I'm not going to do what he said or whatever. He just changes his mind. I don't know. He does. But it's interesting because this time around, instead of having just Lex, instead of just killing Superman, he's like, well, why don't I just use this Superman to kill the other Superman? And, do it that way. And it's pretty easy because this guy's pretty susceptible to, he's been going through so much grieving wise. And so he kind of Lex uses the book to manipulate all of that and turn this Superman against everybody else. And there's this giant, awesome Superman battle. They're kicking each other all over the place. They're destroying, glass is shattering from their fists, kind of pow pow. And you got the music in the background. Dun, 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 and they're like, dun, 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 and it's all great. And you're like, whoa, 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 who's going to win? Who's going to win? And then Lex is like, well, this isn't working. I'm going to have the Superman just kill Lois and Iris. That'll make it easy. And so the Superman's like, you're going to lose everything I lost. Ah! And then so they kind of attack. And in this very moment, because you have to remember to use the Book of Destiny, you really, you have to concentrate. Even for Lex, as smart as he is, for what you need to be doing, especially to somebody of the caliber of Superman, you need to be laser focused. So the girls kind of utilize this time of him pressuring Superman to come kill them as a time to kind of sneak off and kind of pop this guy with a frying pan right over his head. I don't know where they got the pan from. Was it a pan? I think Lois got something in her hands. I thought it was a pan. And just pop! And he got knocked out, as you do if you get hit in the back of the head. You get pop, 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 and then so he gets knocked out, and they are able to utilize the book, not to any degree because they don't really know how it works, but they are able to change his mind and bring him back to the light, and kind of go from there and capture Lex all in one fell swoop. So they really did defeat Lex Luthor, which was good. Pop! But, I don't know. I think there's more to Lex's story. I don't think that he was just brought back for this. He's a genius. There's more to this. There's no way, and I get, and like I said, he was concentrating and he did get, beat up. But Lex has always got a backup plan. Lex did not just, I don't know. There's something more to that because it's Lex Luthor. But anyways, we'll dive into that a little later, I think. So they've got the Paragon of Truth. Awesome. That's 3 down. 3 down, 4 to go. Now let's go jump to Future Bat. Earth 99, set in a future time. They got Batman there. You got, hold on, Kate Kane, Batgirl, and Supergirl. They go to get Batman. They go to his manor. They bust it down. They're trying to get Batman. Bruce Wayne. And you're going, there's another cameo in here. And it's pretty, at first, It might be hard for you to recognize, but the way they set it up gives you the hint of kind of who he is. So when they enter in the building, there's somebody else kind of there stopping them from getting to Batman. But of course, Supergirl is like, she just breaks the whole door down, like kicks it, and the whole thing explodes. And they kind of enter, and all of a sudden you don't see Batman or Bruce Wayne. All you hear is Bruce Wayne's voice, and that's kind of the clue of who this cameo is, because all you hear is the voice, and you're like, whoa, that Batman sounds familiar. And then he keeps talking, you're like, whoa, that Batman really sounds familiar. And then he turns the corner, and for me, I go, never mind, I don't know who that is. Because I've never seen this person. I don't think so. In fact, I don't know. So I was like, well, I got nothing. So I looked it up. And of course, now I feel silly saying this after the fact, having to look it up, because it's the voice of Batman. I don't know how I didn't, like, they set it up perfectly. They just like, you just hear his voice. It was a dead giveaway. But I didn't get it. So I looked it up. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, he's going to play as the Paragon of Courage, or they think he's the Paragon of Courage. And so Kate Kane and Bruce Wayne get to have this kind of awkward, once again, where they know each other but from different Earths. So they kind of start telling their stories. And it turns out that Batman ain't so good, man. He became Scary Bat. He became Dark Bat. He became, a lot of like the stories that, or the comics that we see, like with Batman, especially the one where he fought like Superman at the end, like when he's really, really old. And even in Batman v Superman, Ben Affleck portraying that older Batman, that version of Batman that's given up on his ideals and is now, still going for justice, but in all the wrong ways. Like, he's not afraid to kill or get his hands dirty. And this is kind of what we found of this Batman. Because Kate's like, yo, man, like, you are the Paragon of Courage. You're here to save the multiverse. We need you. And he's like, Paragon of Courage? Don't think so. Maybe a few years ago, but now I'm the Bat of Death. I've just been killing people all day. And she's like, really? What? No, but you had a code. And he's like, everybody has a code. But then you kill one person, then you kill two people, and then you kill three, and it just keeps going. And so, kind of find out that Batman ain't so good. And but Kate's like, look, it doesn't matter. We get it. You're not so good anymore. You have a chance to change it. Come back with me. Come be a hero again. Start again, And while they're doing that, Supergirl finds out that Batman killed Superman on this Earth. They find she basically goes and visits Batman's like trophy room of all the people he's killed. All the villains he's killed over the years. And you see Joker, and you see like these little mementos of other kind of villains that we've all accustomed to the Bat kind of fighting. And he's basically killed everybody, as you do, as you get older, I guess. And so he also killed Superman. And that's when Supergirl's like, no, not a Paragon, not good. He killed the symbol of hope. Superman's symbol of hope. He's the hope. And not good. So goes and confronts him and goes, hey, Batgirl, get away. He's evil. We're not going to hang out with him no more. Not the Paragon of Courage. We can't trust the Monitor. I was right all along. Monitor trusted Lex. Now she's trusting this guy. No. So, but Batman's killed Superman, which means he has some kryptonite. And he's in an exoskeleton. I don't think I mentioned that. By the way, he's in an exoskeleton. And he was put there by Superman. We know this. We've seen this in other comics. But so he just punches Supergirl in the stomach or face. I can't remember. But pop, pop, pop. He's like, you know what? All worlds are gonna die, and I'm glad. There's no hope for anything. It's really dark, Batman. He's given up on everything. There's no hope. There's no future. He's on board with all the Earth's dying. He's like, this Earth can't be saved anywhere. Any way you do it, it's all bad. Very dark. So now he's trying to kill Supergirl because he's like, you're not gonna get me, and I'm not gonna help you guys. I'm evil, basically. And so he's got the kryptonite. He's beating him down, and Batwoman has to kind of be like, well, I guess it's up to me to stop this. So she kills Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Batman dies. Yeah. So first they kill Oliver, then they kill Batman, the Paragon of Courage. Apparently so. He gets thrown into an electric janitor, and of course he's wearing like a metal suit, so electrocuted. And his last words, I'm telling you, this guy no good. He's like, look at me, look at my dying eyes. He's like, hey, no hope, nothing. And so they're just like, whoa. I mean, it's crazy. It's really good. I mean, it's really good storytelling there. This guy's like, not gonna happen. Whoa. So, I guess they don't got no Paragon of Courage. They've got 3, but if they've not got all 7, I don't really know. So, then they all go back to the ship. And everybody kind of meets who they've brought along because they've got that other Earth Superman, and Ray, Palmer, and Superman meet. Their doppelgangers meet, and there's like, it's funny because Ray's like, hey, I've got a gluten allergy. You got a gluten thing? He's like, no, I don't have a gluten thing. Why would Superman have a gluten thing? Like, just because they're, like, I get it. They're the same, like, they're doppelgangers. They should have some similarities, but it's like, he's Superman. He's not going to have, like, a dietary restriction. He's going to be, like, lactose intolerant Superman. So everybody kind of meets up, and while everyone's been off trying to find Paragons, gather the Paragons, be with the Paragons, do the Paragons, all that kind of mumbo-jumbo, they really... Ray is trying to build a Paragon detector. That's what they needed the Wave Rider for. That's why they went and got, Ray's equipment. I said earlier that they needed Ray's equipment. This is why they need it. They need it so Ray can build a Paragon detector. And really quickly, because I said that I would mention this, while he's building the Paragon detector, where's Mick? Mick is still with John. He's babysitting this episode. And while he's babysitting, he's trying to quiet, John so that Ray can work. And the way that he's calming the baby down is he's reading the baby his romance novel that he's been writing, because he's a writer. But it's one of those, like, dirty romance novels. So he's reading a baby a dirty romance novel. Glorious. Absolutely hilarious. Ray's like, I don't think you should be reading that book. And he's like, this baby loves this book. And he starts reading a chapter, and he's like, and then he attacked like a cobra. Hey, and then he looks at the baby, and he's like, did you like that line? I love that line. It's my favorite line. He kind of walks out, and you're just like, what? He's cool. All right. Mick, you're still grade A in my book. So anyways, Ray has built this Paragon detector, and they turn it on, and he's like, hey, everybody step back, because I don't know what this thing's going to do. Everybody take a step back, except for Mick, who just kind of leans back. It's really funny. He's just like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to lean this way. Hey, like closer to his beer almost. I'm just going to lean like this. All right. And so they turn it on, and a light appears, and everyone's like, whoa, it's a Paragon, it's a Paragon, it's a Paragon. And Ray's like, nah, it's the ship. I didn't get it to work. And the monitors are like, no, you did get it to work. That is the Paragon of Courage. And we're like, what? The Paragon of Courage is dead. There is no Paragon of Courage. And then the monitor's like, Actually, what I said was stupid. He's like, what I said was, is you'd find the Paragon of Courage by, going to Earth 99. Kate Kane, you are the future Bat. You are the Paragon of Courage. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I think Kate Kane is awesome. I think she totally deserves the Paragon of Courage, and she has continually earned that she continually earns that. She was a big help in Elseworlds. She's been nothing but supportive to Kara and her journey, and she I think time and time again will continue to prove herself. I'm okay with that. The whole hey, psych, that wasn't the real Paragon. It's the Monitor I don't trust. That's what I'm trying to get to say. I really don't like that guy. I know from what I said earlier, I get it. He's trying to prepare the team. His intentions are the truest. I don't like him. Anyways, so that's kind of the full episode. They've got 4 Paragons. Oliver is soulless but alive. Good job. Don't know what they're going to do there. And they've got 4 Paragons. Now, the ending throws everything for a loop. Because the Harbinger starts hearing all these voices again. And you're like, what is they've got the book. Lex is locked up. Everything's good there. Why are you hearing the voices? And we find out that it's somebody calling to her. And so then she teleports somewhere. And it's an interesting place where they teleport. I don't know why I'm so intrigued about this, but it looks like the hallway at Star Labs. I don't know if it is the hallway at Star Labs, but it looks like the hallway of Star Labs. And the Harbinger is standing there, and basically you hear this voice. He's like, because the Harbinger has no idea where she is, who she's with, what she's doing. And all of a sudden this voice comes, and he's like, I have traveled from world, destroying everything in its sight. As each death happens, I grow stronger. Who am I? I'm the Anti-Monitor. And we see, literally, for the first time, the Anti-Monitor in, flesh, and he looks exactly like the reverse of the Monitor. Which, it makes sense. Anti-Monitor, Monitor. But he looks exactly the same. And as he grows stronger, the Monitor grows weaker. And so I will leave you guys with this final thought, because I've talked for way too long and I want to get to part 3. But, so here's kind of my idea. We got the Paragons. They need to find the other 3. Hopefully Roy can get that thing working to find the rest. We're good there. But the real thing is, I think that the Monitor... This is why, remember earlier when I said that the Monitor is becoming more reckless? He's starting to make more reckless decisions, with the whole Lex, making sure he has the book, just certain things like that, especially since Oliver has died. His whole plans kind of changed. I'm starting to wonder that, because I know the Monitor's got to be able to feel his power weakening. I don't know if it's anxiety from that, the weaker he gets, the more stressed and the more rash decisions he makes, or as we're just seeing, the Anti-Monitor clearly is in control of the Harbinger. He called the Harbinger there. He's kind of been, speaking to the Harbinger, these whispers. I don't know if the other whispers has been him, but clearly the Monitor created the Harbinger or knew the ingredients to create the Harbinger and needed the Harbinger for this. It's not that far of a stretch that the Anti-Monitor, as he gets stronger, could do the same kind of, not manipulation, but gravitate her over to his side. So that's what I'm saying. I think he's just pulling everybody towards him. So I think the Monitor is starting with the best intentions, but as he starts to get weaker and weaker, and the Harbinger too. So we got the Monitor, Harbinger, and then Anti-Monitor down here. So as the Anti-Monitor pulls everything down here, everybody starts to gravitate more towards the Anti-Monitor. Meaning, Harbinger's becoming more susceptible. The Monitor's becoming more rash and more quick to make rash decisions. So the more time goes on here, the darker it's going to be for the whole team, I think. I don't know. Maybe I've seen this too much. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. So that's really interesting. And I think we're going to see more of that dynamic, especially now that the Harbinger is now either on the Anti-Monitor side or working with the Anti-Monitor. I don't know for the whole time or if it just as of right now as we're seeing it. Because he's like, Harbinger, we have a lot of work to do. Then the episode kind of ends. Whoa! Did you like that? Whoa! Guys, Crisis is awesome. It is awesome. Awesome. Part 2, super good. I loved seeing Smallville again. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, was awesome to see. Seeing Ray Palmer, that actor, get to put on the cape one more time. Super cool to see. They are really bringing everybody into this. Part 3 kicks off in The Flash. I'll see you guys all there for my off-the-cuff review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below on your favorite cameos, what you liked better, seeing the Paragon of Truth or meeting the future Bat on Earth 99. So much to talk about, so much to discuss. Thank you guys so much for staying to the end. I will see you guys all next time. Bye.